Okay, so basically this is in response to Cassie Dale 2's channel, really just her in general, not a specific video. The problem I have is that she isn't a very good example of someone who, one, states opinions without facts at all, or without a logical framework, and two, if she does have a fact, it's almost always misquoted or incorrect. So, if you're going to projectile vomit your opinion all over the web and make sure everyone knows what your opinion is, make sure you're backing it with something true, like a true fact, because otherwise you sound ignorant and it's irritating. And that's why so many people I know, Cassie, leave comments on your channel telling you to sterilize yourself, because it is clear you do not know what you are talking about. You are entitled to your opinions. I do not in any way think you should sterilize yourself because of your opinions. I think what you need to do is educate yourself, because it's clear to me on certain issues like the feminist movement and taxes, you know nothing about them, and you talk about them, and it makes you sound ignorant. Read a book before you talk about them. For instance, taxes. There are two types of taxes. You should know that. The fact that I'm at least 10 years younger than you, and I know it and you don't, is ridiculous. Okay? There are two types of taxes. Federal taxes and state-issued taxes. Federal taxes do not go to fixing your state roads. Okay? Federal taxes are that come out of your paycheck. They go to the federal government. You get points in like the government system that in the future the government looks at those points when you turn 65 and they say, all right, this is how much money you're entitled to under your retirement, and then the money comes back to you so that you don't have to work. But once you give your money to the government, that goes to things like the CIA, the military, but the main thing it goes to is so that it can pay elderly monthly so that they don't have to work. State-issued taxes are for things like food, clothing. I don't know if there is a state that taxes food, but it goes for things like anything you buy in the state. So even if you live in Wisconsin, if you go to California and buy something, there are still taxes on that. And those taxes pay for things like fixing roads, paying for teachers, paying for anything educational, anything that's state-run. And that's what that pays for. It's not 1% of it. It's all of it goes to that. So talking about taxes and saying the government's taking your money and throwing it away, they're not, because it doesn't matter what they're doing with your money. In the end, you're getting it back when you turn 65. And what the tax money goes to is making sure that your country is a better place. So don't complain about taxes. Pay them and get over it, because taxes aren't going to go away. And when you just make up things about taxes, like saying that the government is taxing breathing, that's not true. And if you believe that you should be put in an insane asylum, you need to understand the things that you're saying before you say them, so you don't sound dumb. I can't say it any nicer than that, because that is how you sound when you say like these things. The second thing is the feminist movement. I don't want this to be a super long video, so I'm going to say this quickly. The Declaration of Independence set the pavement for the Constitution. When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, he believed that there are 4 qualities you had to have to be considered equal in the United States. 1, you had to be landowning. 2, you had to be educated. 3, you had to be white. And 4, you had to be a male. If you do not have all 4 of these characteristics, not just 1, not just 3, if you didn't have all 4, you didn't get rights. So under the Constitution that you so avidly promote, if you did not have any Bill of Rights, you would not have rights as a woman at all. And you could be raped, murdered, beaten, anything that anyone wanted to do to you, they could do, because you are a woman with no rights under just the Constitution. The feminist movement gave you those rights. They gave you the right to speak. They gave you the right to be whatever religion you want. Anything that's under the Constitution, the feminist movement gave you those rights, because they gave women equality. You cannot argue that. You may hate the feminist movement, that is fine, you may disagree with it, but they gave you the right to equality, which set the pavement for you to get any rights that are under the Constitution that you would not have had if the feminist movement had not worked for you to have those things. So bashing the feminist movement, yes, it may be stupid, but if you're going to hate them, make sure you're not making up things about them, because they gave you your right to have a voice. And your voice is, you're saying government, it's your right to speak out. The First Amendment of the Constitution says right to freedom of speech, okay? If if there were no Bill of Rights, under the Constitution, only white, educated, landowning men had the right to speech. Okay? So yes, the feminist movement gave you your voice. It gave you the right to speak. It gave you the right to vote. It gave you the right to own land. It gave you all of these things. You may hate them, but it doesn't matter. They gave you those rights, and you can't just make stuff up about them. Make sure there's fact behind the things you're saying. There are 100 other things I could talk about that you make up that make you sound ignorant. Make sure that you know what you're talking about. Read a book. Educate yourself. Don't just make stuff up and then post it on the internet, because that's going to confuse other people who may be looking to learn information, maybe looking to learn about it. They watch your video and they have some misconstrued idea that's incorrect. Know what you're talking about before you post on the internet. Don't just make stuff up. It makes you sound dumb.